Okay, this slide is the last part of who pays for government, right? We were talking about where the money for the tax revenue, where they come from, mostly from the individual income tax. Now, when we look at who paid for the government, we can separate people into, groups of income level, right? So, for example, you can see that on the graph here, the share of tax liability by income group shows how much of the total taxes paid. And these taxes include both income and social insurance taxes, meaning federal income taxes and social security tax and Medicare tax as well. So these are the total tax that come from each income group. So as you can see here, the middle income group in the United States now pays less than 10% of all taxes paid, right? This is a statistic from year 2010, but it's very similar even up to now, 2019, 2020. The 10% of all taxes paid, take a look, middle income group, right? So middle, which is 20%, middle 20%, right? When you line them up, and the 20% in the middle class here pay about 10% of all taxes paid, which is about $300 billion. So the wealthiest 20%, right, second highest and the highest 20%, here the highest 20%, meaning the wealthiest 20%, which is the top line here, of income earners, paid almost 70% of all federal taxes in year 2010 and about $2 trillion. Okay, so the top 1% of all income earners, just the 1% highest income in the economy in the United States, these top 1% paid around 25% of all income taxes paid in year 2010. So now when look at the poorest group, the poorest 40%, right? The poorest 40%, which means you can look at the second and the lowest 20%, second lowest 20%, right? So together, the poorest 40%, these together paid about 4% of federal tax in 2010, which is about $120 billion. So, well, as you can see, right, that higher income group can pay much more of the tax revenue for the government. Okay. So the concerns of many people stem from the fact that in recent years, we have a budget deficit almost every year. So these deficits get added to the national debt. So they're two different things, right? What is the budget deficit? The budget deficit is when the outlays of the spending, the government spending is larger than the revenues that they receive, right? So more funds flowing out than the funds coming in. So the budget surplus is the opposite when the revenues are greater than the outlays, right? More funds flowing in than the funds going out. So in year 2009, so far, well, besides right now, we're not in a very normal situation. In year 2009, $1.4 trillion budget deficit was the largest in the U.S. history. So right now, as year 2020, we had about $3.7 trillion budget deficit, but that's a different story, right? The pandemic, the coronavirus, or the COVID-19 that really caused this huge budget deficit. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we can take a look at the deficit to GDP ratio. Actually, it's more informative of the magnitude of the deficit over time compared to just looking at the actual amount of the dollar deficit. So the deficit to GDP ratio accounts for economic growth. So let's take a look a little further. Okay. However, as of May 2020, I should just type it in. The budget deficit is about $3.7 trillion. I will change that. All right, so regarding this graph, the deficit to debt rate to GDP ratio, this is deficit to GDP ratio. So when the outlay is above the revenue, then that would be the deficit, right? Like I said, it's a more informative gauge of the magnitude of deficits over time. So the outlay, which is the orange line, and revenue, which is the blue line, illustrate the relative to the GDP, right, as a percentage of the GDP. So the deficit is the vertical distance between this outlay and the outlays and the revenue. That's relative to the GDP as well. So these long-run averages are indicated by the dashed line, right? So this is a long-run average of the outlay and the long-run average of the revenue. So the difference between those two lines is the long-run average of the deficit as a percentage of the GDP. All right, so this figure shows us that recent spending has been above the long-run average and recent revenue has been below the long-run average. So the shaded area right here, many vertical shaded areas, indicate the recessionary period, and these also indicate that deficits grow during the recessions, as you can tell. Deficits grow during the recession for multiple reasons though. And one, government spending, right? Stimulus usually increases, also increase the outlays. Tax cuts are often implemented, right? It's part of the fiscal policy. And in order to increase consumption and increase investment, but it will decrease revenue. In addition, without any change in the government policy, incomes usually decline during economic downturns, right? So decrease the total dollar amount, the tax paid, which is proportional to income of the tax revenue collected. Excuse me. All right. So now this give you a little bit very specific. This is a federal deficit or surplus between 1968 to 2018 as a percentage of the GDP. So you can compare this graph, to the ones in your textbook, figure 15.9. This diagram shows the budget balances as percentage of the GDP in particular, while the panel B in your textbook, figure 15.9, shows the real budget balance. Negative values indicate a deficit in dollars, but this one is as a percentage of the real GDP. Okay, and again, during the Great Recession right here, the highest deficit was $1.4 trillion in 2010 dollars, and this is the largest by far. But right now we are even going further than this one, right? So graph looks the same from this one and the 15.9 that I referred to, but it's just very different data presented here. Now on the next slide, you're going to see the current one. So here's very current. This is April of 2020. You can see that the budget deficit right here, this is a federal budget deficit as percentage of the GDP. Way back, this is 1946. Okay, and now in year 2020, this including some of these coronavirus rescue measures, but not everything in here just yet. So right now it's about 17% of the GDP. So the U.S. national debt, which is not this graph is all about deficit, but the deficit will add into the total debt because of this massive spending in response to the pandemic. The pandemic of a new coronavirus disease, a COVID-19, is projected to soon take the budget deficit to levels not seen since World War II. So this expansion of the deficit follows year of ballooning debt. So totally nearly $17 trillion in 2019. That will now be even more difficult to reduce. So the defense spending that happened during this World War II, right, with the debt skyrocketing to more than 100% of the gross domestic product in year 1946. And the deficit is yearly metric, just to emphasize again, which is different from debt. So the debt refers to cumulative amount that the government owes. Measuring both deficits and debt at proportion of the GDP is a standard way to comparing spending over time, since it automatically adjusts for inflation, population growth, and changes in per capita income. So the pandemic is on track to increase the debt because of the economic damage it is causing, as well as because of the measure taken in response. Now, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that these factors will push the federal deficit to $3.7 trillion in 2020, more than 18% of the GDP. It is the highest level since World War II. Total public debt is expected to exceed the size of the economy this year, so the first time since 1940s. Other independent projections predict that the public debt will exceed the previous record, is 106% of the GDP by 2020. So again, I'm using those two terms kind of back and forth. Now let's go back one step and see what's going on. One more time. 3 general observations, right? What we saw was that deficits grow when outlays increase, revenues decrease, or outlay increase and revenue decrease, right? So deficits tend to grow during recessionary periods, and the recent U.S. budget deficits are historically large, and it's going to be even larger in year 2020 because of the pandemic. All right, so now one more time, I'm going to compare the term deficit and debt. They're not the same thing. Deficit not the same as debt, right? So deficit means year by year when outlays greater than revenue, but the debt is a total funds borrowed by the government. Okay, so we have the national debt, public debt, and private debt. All right, so national debt will be for the government. So now if the government has a shortfall in any given year, there's a deficit in that year. All of the yearly deficits added together equal the total national debt. So now national debt is a total of all accumulated and unpaid deficits or the government liabilities. So the national debt, right, part is owed to the public, meaning the public can own U.S. government debt through Treasury securities, and part is owed to the government agencies, right? Public and government agencies. So here's the thing. What happens if one government agency owes another government agency money? So sometimes a federal agency will purchase treasury bonds, right? Which is the way that the federal government borrowing money from public, right? So when this happens, the government essentially owes money to itself, right? So one branch of the government can owe another branch. So it's often useful to focus on the part of the national debt that is owed to the public. So now, regarding this image that you see on the slide, national debt totaled over $18 trillion at the time of this writing, which was in 2018. And if you would like to know what is the real public debt right now, you can go on to this website, right, usdebtclock.org, and I can show you in a minute, is the U.S. national debt is now $25 trillion. While the U.S. federal spending is $6 trillion, and the debt is accumulated, right? And one more thing, here we go. The U.S. federal tax revenues only, how much? $3 trillion, right? And I'm going to show a little more about this one. The U.S. revenue per citizen is $10,000. Income tax revenue is only $1.6 trillion, and payroll tax revenue $1.2 trillion. See, the two different things. This one is just income tax, but this one is for Social Security and Medicare. The corporate tax revenue is $217 billion. Tariff is only about $67 billion. So total local revenue is very small, right? State revenue is not $2 trillion. So all of these together, the federal tax revenue is only 3.4 at most trillion dollars at the moment, but the U.S. debt is $25 trillion and counting. Okay, this is the U.S. national debt. All right, budget deficit. So right here it said official number is $2.7 trillion. I thought it was estimated at $3.7 trillion, but it's increasing every single second. The actual U.S. federal spending is at 6.6. Federal budget deficit is 3.2. So the official number and the actual number is different. So we're going to focus on this number. See, this number is $3.2 trillion of the budget deficit at the moment. Okay, that's kind of scary, right? So the last number I want to point out here is that the U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio in year 1960, it was 52% of the GDP. In 1980, it was much better, 34% of the GDP. In year 2000, it was 58% of the GDP. But now it's 118, percent of the GDP. So it's larger than the GDP. Now you would ask, what is the U.S. GDP at the moment? U.S. GDP right now is $21 trillion. So the debt is $25 trillion. So it makes sense, 118%. All right, so let's go back to our lecture. So those are kind of fun facts. That's not too much fun, right? Okay, here we go. Again, if you want to take a look at this debt, you can go on and go to this usdebtclock.org. All right, so we're going to stop right there and continue with the national debt.